All right, we got Dave in the house. We're going to play a little game. I want to know who he's going to keep, who he's going to cut. Let's go. All right, welcome back to the Onebar and Dave show tonight. We were talking who are you going to keep, who are you going to cut. You hear Lupagus and I talk all the time. You know our favorites. You know the guys we want to keep. We want a different perspective. It might not be a different answer, but at least you're going to hear it from somebody else. Dave, thank you for hopping on, man. We appreciate it.
No problem. And the answer is simple. You want to keep all the ones that are good and cut all the ones that are bad.
Hey, and thank you for joining us. That is the show, everybody. We're going to wrap this thing up. So, Dave, Vikings first and SKOL. Tell us what you got going on, man. I know you got a lot of stuff going on. Let everybody know where to go. Hit them up.
Well, first off, we have the Vikings First and SKOL YouTube page where we are just a little bit under 800 subscribers. We're shooting for 1,000 prior to the start of the season, right? The regular season. We're hoping to hit 1,000 by then. That's not all, though. We have Vikings First and SKOL is the podcast arm of Fans First Sports Network. So we put out podcasts daily, almost. I think it's pretty much close to daily already. On that side, you get to hear me 5 days a week, Monday through Friday, just reading the what's happened in Vikings land news, for one thing, on the Vikings Daily Openers show. And I'll pull information from here and there and wherever. We'll talk about it. Training camp's a big one in today's episode, and today's episode was a huge one. But it's a fun thing to do. We have people we have Tyler Fornes and the Real Forno Show. We have Darren Campbell of 2O Bloggers. He gets on there. And we have Justin Day of Purple and Gold for Days, who puts out at least one weekly podcast that you can't find anywhere else. And it's over on the Vikings First and SKOL podcast arms. All you got to do is look at it. Any of your podcast aggregators, it is there. You can find it that way. And then thirdly, Fans First Sports Network just started a writing side of their network, and it's at ffsn.app, and you can go up there and it's got all the sports. You can click NFL, click Minnesota Vikings, and you'll find all our written pieces. Tyler and I have gathered together a dozen different writers. Damn. We've had the first 3 post their articles so far. We've got more coming. We're hoping to have at least, if not one, but multiple stories go up every day here in the near future as we onboard these guys and get them used to using the system. So there'll be another spot to get your Vikings news every day. You got the podcast, you got the written side, and of course you got Vikings First and SKOL on YouTube, along with the Onebar and Lupagus show and the many others in the Vikings land, Vikings sphere, that fans can join us and have a great time.
See, I knew you'd have a lot to offer here. Dave bleeds, shits, everything purple, and we love having us some Dave. So let's do this. So I'm going to give you some scenarios here as far as you have to keep one, you have to cut one. Don't go with your heart. You are the GM right now. You are fighting for your job. These decisions have a lot to do with if the Vikings can finally hoist that trophy. So they're kind of.
Before we get there, I got a question for you. You guys did a video on it, and I was thinking of writing a story on it. Is Kwesi Adofo-Mensah under more pressure this season?
No, never. No. 13-4. Come on, man. I mean, it's a valid question. Everybody's asking it. No, until when we looked at this, Spielman, look at the seasons he had. I mean, and the Wilfs, they're getting older. Maybe they're feeling a little bit more like we got to get this done. But they give Spielman a very, 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 very long leash.
Oh, yes, they did.
So I think Kwesi coming off that 13-4 season, bringing in Brian Flores. I mean, I think he's just fine. If 2 years from now it ain't happening, we can start talking about it. But I'm on the Kwesi train, and I get shit for it because everybody says I like him a lot more than I should. All I'm saying is give him some time. Give him some time.
Well, I think he will get time, but I do think he's putting a little bit of extra pressure on himself this season because of the whole competitive rebuild. Last year was run it back.
Yeah.
This year, now Kwesi's the one that's moving the chess pieces, and he's got to prove that he can keep the team competitive while doing this rebuild. And then this year, we're seeing the turnover in the defense, and the offense is pretty much set. We got weapons all over the place. But it's going to be interesting after this season how it all turns out, especially on the defensive side. But I think his best selection yet as a GM was Brian Flores.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. I mean, some of the guys he drafted last year, they need the. I mean, Brian Asamoah needs to show some signs. Ed Ingram needs to show some improvement. Lewis C needs to get his ass on the field if he's healthy. So I'm not saying everything's all rosy and nothing but sunshine and rainbows, but stuff needs to start popping. I mean, even this year's drafts, things need to start happening. Is the free agency brought in? Things need to start happening. But I'm not concerned one bit. I'm not worried yet.
Well, good. Well, thank you for letting me hijack that first part.
No, I appreciate that. Everybody, the thought of people being off the Kwesi train already, I just don't get it. I just don't get it. But
it seems silly, especially when the Wilfs want to be more like the Steelers organization and the Rooneys, where they keep their people for a very, very long time. I don't see his job in jeopardy anytime soon.
All right, well, let's talk about somebody's job who might be in jeopardy. I'm giving you a real weird one right off the bat. Jalen Reagor or Thayer Thomas, the undrafted free agent. If you had to keep or cut one of these, who is it going to be?
Reagor's gone.
Oh, God, that was quick. That was quick.
Hey, if you can't, he's been in the league, was drafted the same time Jefferson was. He's been in the league this long, and he can't remember what route to run. He's gone.
He's gone.
Yes, I know he has talent. I know he has speed. But no, he's gone.
Hey,
and I want a better punt returner.
It's a great answer. I mean, we're very big Thayer Thomas fans on this channel, so I'm all for it. But it just seems like they talk him up. Maybe it's because of what they gave up for him. They just have to talk him up.
I think so. And the fact that he was a first-round draft pick.
You think he would have been gone by already? I'm on your side on this one. Let's go to the tight end possession. Let's go to Johnny Munt or Nick Muse, the man from last Nick Muse, 7th round pick last year. Johnny Munt, who right now is the 3rd tight end.
I would like, if I had to get rid of one, I think Munt stays actually an extra year, and Muse again goes back to the practice squad for development. I'd keep Munt. Get rid of Muse, hopefully to bring him back onto the practice squad. Because, like I said this morning, when it comes to tight ends, you're usually drafting them for their next team. It's a 3 to 4 year maturing process at that position. Muse isn't even close. Munt is at least servable.
I like that.
Serviceable.
Damn, that was good. That was good. Yeah, I mean, Nick Muse, there's no way in hell he could go on our practice squad easily. I mean, if they cut him, there ain't teams clamoring for Nick Muse.
No.
I think I actually have another Jalen Reagor one on here, and I think based off of your first answer, I think I know where she's going to go, but I could be surprised. I'm going to throw out Kenny Nwangwu, obviously the return specialist. If it comes down to numbers as far as position-wise, or Jalen Reagor, who are you keeping?
Nwangwu's proven as a kickoff returner.
I knew it.
Reagor has not proven himself as a punt returner, and he was below what I consider minimal standards, which is 9 yards per punt return, and he was at an 8 last year. I want at least 10 on average over a season. That's why they're trying out different people at the punt returning spot, including first-round draft pick Jordan Addison.
Let's go, baby. Let's go. Let's go. I mean, do you when all is said and done, take the Jalen Reagor out of it, do you think they're going to keep Nwangwu? Just Think he'll stick on the 53?
Yes, I do. I think we pretty much it's set. Madison won. You're going to have a battle for who gets the most of number 2. Right now, Wangwu's getting the favored status in camp that we're hearing, but I fully expect McBride to step up and probably surpass him. And then you've got not McBride. Dwayne McBride was who we picked up. I expect Dwayne McBride to also make the team. It was Ty Chandler to step up and pass Wangu and keep McBride, and then have, of course, CJ Ham, and it'd be a 5 running back room.
All right, let's go. Remember, hit up those links down in the description. Give Dave a sub. Let's get those guys to 10K. Let's go to the offensive line. Chris Reed, the man who's starting off on the non-football injury list, and undrafted free agent from TCU, Alan Ali.
That's a tough one. We saw Chris Reed last year. He came in, played right, and he was an emergency center, which was fine. Alan Ali shows some promise, though. I like his attributes, so I want to see him in preseason. If I had to get rid of one or the other,
don't do it. Don't do it.
Reed.
Yeah, there we go. Let's go.
Keep Ali.
I still cannot believe when we signed him. We even talked to the guys from the Colts, the teams he's played for. They're like, "You guys,
they loved him."
Yeah, they loved him, and then he couldn't get on the field. Like he was buried on the. I don't get that one, but at this point, I'm over it.
All those backup guards, whether it be Reed, Schlotman, or whoever, couldn't beat out at Ingram last fall.
Yeah, no, that's true. Let's go defensive line. Lupagus hates Ross Blacklock more than anything in the world, but I'm going to throw this one at you.
I don't know why.
Ross Blacklock, James Lynch, boom. Who are you keeping?
Blacklock. Lynch is going.
Suck it, Lupagus. Boom. Oh, hold on. Did you cut Blacklock or did you keep Blacklock?
No, I'm keeping Blacklock. Lynch is going.
All right.
Lynch hasn't showed me anything. We had high hopes for him. My partner on Tool Bloggers, Darren, keeps putting him up for breakout season, and he never breaks out. He never does anything. I'm sure he's a fine young gentleman, got a heart of gold, got a motor even. It's just he's proven nothing. There's more upside with Blacklock finally hitting it than there is with Lynch.
Yeah, and Lynch and I are we have a very special connection, both being gingers, so this is very tough for me, but yeah, I wholeheartedly agree. Let's go to the linebacker position. A couple of undrafted free agents. I mean, chances are one of these guys make it, but let's go. I know Ivan Pace is inside and Andre Carter's outside, but if you had to keep one of these on the 53, who are you keeping?
Pace or who?
Andre Carter.
Oh, you're making this one tough.
That is actually a tough one, and you can't pull any sneaky stuff like, "Hey, I hope he gets on the practice squad." Just think that whoever
if either one of them gets cut, I want them on the practice squad. Put it that way.
Well, in your mind, whoever you let go is gone.
I would. God, I love defensive ends, but out of the two, Andre Carter was so good that he was getting hype for a couple years at Army, and he needs time to fill out and develop. Pace, however, is such a pass rush
playing with the twos
demon, and I think would work better with Pace would work better immediately versus Andre Carter.
Wow.
But in this case, I've got to go with a higher value position and keep Andre Carter and let Pace go because he's small.
Going with Carter. Wow, the future of our outside linebacker. I like it. That is a tough one. I'm not even going to answer that one because I don't know what I'd do.
It's a tough decision. And like I said, if either one of them get cut, I hope they make the practice squad and we get to develop them. But I'd rather have the pass rusher than the pass rush capable linebacker who specializes in that. I think Brian Flores can scheme up anybody to rush the passer. I'd rather have that defensive end, especially when we don't know the status of Daniil Hunter yet.
That is fair. That is fair. Only got a couple more for you before I get into this last two. If they could get rid of all the beer in the world and you had to have one beer for the rest of your life, what beer are you drinking?
That's an unfair question.
It's unfair, but I'm going to have an answer. I apologize.
Oh, man.
One beer for the rest of your life.
I very much like local brews. Right now, I'm drinking a 512 IPA, and I like IPAs. There is a one that comes out of near Houston, between here and Houston, that is, they call it Clown something IPA. It's a double, meaning it's got up to 12% alcohol.
I would piss my pants if I drank that.
It is very, very good. But just one, if I had to keep just one beer, I don't know, I'm drinking a lot of great beers.
Might be the toughest question of all tonight.
Oh, it is. It absolutely is. That's a good. Hey, if it was in England, it was Wadsworth 6X. Right. But they've since changed. They were bought out by InBev, and everybody complained they watered down the beer. You got to worry about the quality problem. Here in the States, you have the macro brews. You can throw all of them out the window. I don't care. Budweiser gives me a headache. It's the micro brews where to go. Now for the best one though. Ooh. I gotta stay local.
Like it.
It's Carball, the one I was telling you about, the double IPA.
All right, Carball. Damn, you got to get those guys to sponsor you immediately.
Well, no, as most people that watch my show know, I've transitioned mostly to whiskey. Now today it's hotter and I'll get blaze outs here in Austin. And I'm drinking beer because beer is great too. But no, I want a whiskey sponsor.
You're gonna get it. You're gonna get it. All right, a couple quickies to finish this thing off. Outside, I'm going strictly outside edge rusher this time. DJ Wanham, Luigi Villain.
Wanham's gone. That was an easy one.
Yeah, you know what? You and I are pretty much on the same page with a lot of these. That is an easy one. Let's go to the kicker position. Greg Joseph or the undrafted kicker, unproven kicker, Jack Podlesny, who supposedly looks like a linebacker out there. I didn't realize he's so big.
Well, the fact that he's wearing, I think it's number 46, is great. It's only temporary, unfortunately. Like Ryan Wright last year with the 66. And I wish they'd allow him to wear that.
He deserves to wear it.
He deserved it. He looks like a guard. Podlesny, I don't know. I haven't seen him kick yet. So I have no reference whatsoever to go on other than I know Greg Joseph misses extra points and stupid field goals, but he didn't lose us a game last year. So I don't know. I'm going to have to defer that question until I actually see Podlesny kick.
That's fair. All I'll say is we have seen Greg Joseph kick.
Oh, I know. We have seen Joseph kick, but I haven't seen Podlesny kick, so I'm not going to make that choice. Hey, things I'm hearing out of camp is he's nailing everything, but so is Joseph.
I hope this one comes down like it's an actual legit battle. I don't want just Podlesny just to be missing everything. Like, make it a battle. If Joseph wins, fine. Let him get out there. But I want this thing to come right down to the end.
Yes, I do too. And I hope it's, hey, they're both 10 for 10. Who do we decide on? Type situation.
All right, final one. This isn't a cut. This is just, if the season were to start tomorrow, who's your backup quarterback, Jaren Hall or Nick Mullins?
I talked about this today too. Nick Mullins is the backup. Jaren Hall needs time to develop. But everything coming out of camp is Jaren Hall looks like he's a real deal. He's got an arm. Matthew Collar talked about, he gets it. He sees it mentally. He's getting what he needs to do, when he needs to do it, and getting the ball out and how he needs to do that. Kellen Mond never did that. Oof. But Hall is. So that's a bright, shiny bonus for all of us that, hey, there's never been a fifth rounder that's become a franchise quarterback at all, period. None. Really? There have been 3 fifth rounders that have come in and played and got their teams into the playoffs, losing all their games. Just 3. Ever since the merger. That's it. There's none. 0. It's if you graph out the chart, it goes below 0 for fifth rounders. Oh. Fifth rounders. 6 rounders, it spikes up. Why? Tom Brady. But there's another handful of guys in the 6th round that made it big. 7th round, you find gems in the rough, and they've made it big. But the 5th round is a big nada, 0. Meh. So if he becomes that, he'll be the first. And I have no problem with him being the first if he's going to be that good. But right now, signs are, showing upwards. I hope he continues to grow. This is a test for KOC, right? KOC works with Kirk Cousins, but KOC isn't molding Kirk Cousins into the franchise quarterback. He's advising Kirk Cousins, hey, I know you've been in the league a long time. Let's do this. Let's do this. Let's do this. The next guy, whether it be Jaron Hall or next year, if we draft one, it's going to be that piece of clay that he's sitting there moving and, pressing in. I want you to do that. I'm building a little bit more muscle on your right arm. I want this and I want that. So I have all the hopes in the world for Hall. But if the season starts now, Mullen's your backup.
That's the right answer. Nailed it. John David Booty could have been that 5th rounder. Didn't. He's absolutely horrible quarterback. I've never been so excited when we drafted a 5th round quarterback than John David Booty. But yeah, Jared Hall.
If I remember correctly, he played for Red River High up in Grand Forks, North Dakota.
This is exactly why we have Dave on the show, because he's much smarter than us, and we greatly appreciate it. Dave, that's it. I think we're pretty much dead on every one of those things. So I love it. Love the fact that you were able to hop on quick. Enjoy some whiskey tonight. Everybody hit up that Vikings First and SKOL. Links will be down in the description. Dave, have a fantastic night. We'll be seeing you all throughout the season, I hope.
One last question. When are you going to camp?
I'm going this Thursday. They're doing the night practice with the pads on. So I've never been to a night one, so I'm looking forward to that. I just hope I'm not too inebriated by the time they actually practice.
Oh, now you got to take some pictures that you can share on the show, and you've got to be able to bring back reports and stories.
There's going to be a fun one. Well, Lupagus is coming with me, so just going to be a bunch of selfies with us. We may or may not have our shirts on, but I cannot wait to see this shit firsthand. Let's go.
Sorry about that alarm. That's my supper. So,
Dave, get your dinner before it burns, baby. We appreciate you hopping on, man.
All right. Thanks, buddy.